Hello everyone, and welcome to a new video. If you're wondering why I sound a bit tired, is because I accidentally slept with the windows open when the weather was supposed to be 30 something. And I thought it was warm the day before, it was like 80 right after a cold day, so yeah, bear with it. If you're wondering why, Minotaur Tale's not here, is because it's not going away. I'm not done with it. I'm just not bothering with editing right now, so I don't want to edit is all. There's just like I know editing shouldn't take much for a VN, but I don't want to edit. So this is Gnoll Way Home, made by Ka. Well, it's made by Ka. Like, writing and programs made by Ka, with a lot of help. As you may know, I did read this, I think, because when I started reading, I'm not sure if this big boar was here before, but these two boars, you'll meet these two guys in the story, so yeah. I may have a little bit difficulty with distinguishing voices with this one, probably because my voice is a little fucked, and yeah, this is my first time recording it, so I'll see y'all there. Or never mind, I'm not gonna see y'all there. I'm gonna take y'all with me. No thanks. I'm such an idiot. That's the first thing that comes to mind as I find myself facing oblivion. It's so empty, so cold. There's just nothing. Forever? This is what it's always going to be like? There really isn't anything that comes after. Well, at least I can hear myself think. Wait, that's not a good thing, is it? Just alone with my thoughts for eternity? Now this is hell. Please, wake up. Oh, thank goodness. You can't do this. The voice pleads tearfully, breaking and trembling. He sounds hoarse from sobbing. I don't recognize him, but he's my only lifeline to the world of the living. Please. I feel like I'm being pulled towards him when he speaks, somewhere far, far away. Compared to his vast emptiness, it feels like a whole other world. Can't leave me. I feel a deep pang of compassion for whoever this is, and I don't want to leave either. I'm not ready to go, but what can I do? I focus with all my might, trying to do something, anything, to show that I'm here. With all that effort I can muster, I manage to pry my eyes open just a sliver. Just enough for a blurry, unfocused glimpse of him. He gasps, eyes shining and full of tears, and I feel his grip tighten on me. As I lay my eyes upon him, I feel a deep longing that I can't fully explain. I don't know who he is, but he's so gentle, so tender. I feel him clutching my hand, telling me everything's going to be okay. I can barely make out what he's saying, but just hearing his voice is soothing. I try to respond to him, but all that comes out is a weak, breathy gasp. Save your strength. Just stay here with me, please. You'll get better, you will. We'll go back to the village. We'll rest. We'll have soup. I have no idea what he's talking about. Does he know me? This feels wrong. His voice breaks as his tears return. It's not fair. I can't help but agree. I want to console him. I want to tell him not to cry. I don't even know him, but it's obvious how much pain he's in. I want to stay here with him. Why do I feel this way? He's a complete stranger. I can't think straight. My eyes fall shut. I just can't keep them open any longer. Darkness reclaims me as I hear his panic shouting. No, you need to stay awake. but I can't respond. I can't stay with him. The world goes quiet. I feel time slip away from me. Damp falls upon my body. A soft warmth caresses me, but then it's gone. Chill sets in, bitter and biting. Pressure around my limbs, around my throat. Dragging. The smell of noxious chemical fumes. Soft muttering. Chanting? It's too much. And then nothing. You are in a forest, a deep one, hazy and hard to place. Colors you've never seen before shimmer through the air. It hurts to look at them. The trees around you bend and sway in ways that don't feel natural. Okay, man, I can't explain it, but like the second time I see this, it's like, is my eyes fucking with me again? Like right now I'm wearing glasses, but like, and like now I didn't even notice that. But like this blurriness, like these, it's like I'm seeing double of the trees, just slightly. And I'm like, it's kind of natural when I read like that. Like my astigmatism makes things like weird like this to look at when I don't have my glasses on for words. And it's only for words, weirdly enough. Sometimes lights as well. Actually, all the time it's lights, but lights it's just like looking at every light is a star. Alright, let's get back. The trees around you bend and sway in ways that don't feel natural. They bow to form archways leading you on your path. You follow the trail, unsure and unsteady, but driven by duty. You have to find him. The clearing you emerge into looks unfamiliar. Your path becomes less certain. Unsettling lights of those same unusual colors flicker and dance in the canopy above, lighting your way in a way of stars, in place of stars. Dense underbrush shifts and crowds around you, making you feel surrounded. Quickening your pace, you feel pricks of pain as the dense brambles slice at you in your haste. Unearthly sounds warble through the dense tangle that envelops you. Whatever lies down there can't be friendly. You feel your breath racing in your chest. He could be in danger. A particularly overgrown piece of vegetation looms menacingly before you. With your vision blurring, its shape resembles that of a towering beast. Your breath catches in your throat, afraid to make a sound. Pinpricks of illumination from the ghostly lights above shine through it. Or are those eyes? It shifts and turns as you approach. Or was it always facing like that? You can't tell. A howling wind passes through. The trees shake like the rattle of bones. It's not safe here. You run, but not far. The undergrowth trips you up. It feels like as if it lashes out and ensnares your feet, bringing you low so you can't escape. You feel the wind knocked from your lungs as you land hard. Something's wrapped around you, preventing you from reclaiming any air. Looking up, you are met by a dozen of eyes, sprouting from the thick, tangled brush that coats the ground. They stare at you, unblinking. They know you're not meant to be here. You're too slow, too stupid. They just been waiting for you to fall. You feel the roots that surround you tug you slowly down into the earth. They suffocate you, wringing the air from your lungs and life from your body. The more you struggle, the more tighter they bind you. As they close in above you to seal you in this grisly casket of vegetation, the last thing that you see before they fully block out the light is those eyes staring down at you. I bolt awake, launching myself upright in a cold sweat and gasp for air. I'm alive? Probably? Okay, that's a start. I try to get my breathing under control. That nightmare was really intense. Looking around, I strain my eyes to get a good measure of my surroundings. It seems like some kind of hut. From the sounds of the bird song outside, it's out of the wilderness, maybe? rough, unfinished walls and thatched roofing above, and all manner of simple tools and containers scattered about. Light streams in from behind a curtained opening, illuminating some kind of kitchen or workshop along for a wall. Breathing in, I feel the harsh sting of chemical fumes in my lungs, but it feels like I've suffused in it for quite a while already. Must have been here for how long? As my bleary eyes can scan back across the room, I'm startled when I notice a figure slowly creeping up from the shadows. The figure scampers closer with frightening haste. The greasy-looking beast eyes me curiously as I gasp and scoot back against the wall behind me. His proximity brings with it potent musk that stings my eyes, the scent of unwashed animal mixed with strange herbal aromas. He wheezes out a raspy noise before speaking in a scratchy old voice that makes my skin crawl. It rises. My eyes widen as I realize the creature is actually addressing me, and I can understand it. Tell me your name, lad. His tone is friendly, or as close as it can be, or as close as he can manage to given how terrifying his voice is. But should I really trust him so readily? I'm not sure what to tell him. This game doesn't have a default name, cause let me show you. Oh, never mind. Hold up. It's no good. I have to say something. What if I try it again? Oh yeah, it's just us. They're forcing us into what's it called? I don't know. I'm Nicola, whatever y'all say. The creature's ears fall as he frowns at my response. At the same time, I hear him shuffling behind him. One of the curtains dimming the light from the building's entryway is pushed aside. There he stands, looking at me with fearsome glower that makes my stomach drop. The old beast crowding me turns to greet him with a welcoming smile. Ah, there you are, lad. Did you get the... He's silenced by the withering glance and palpable tension. The younger beast strides past his elder to approach me. It's him, the one I dreamed of, but he looks so cold and distant now, like the light has gone out in his eyes. All that remains is a smoldering bitterness that flickers into disgust as he looks at me. I'm so wrapped up in studying his expression that I don't notice what he's doing until his hands are around my throat. I reflexively reach up to stop him, but after hearing a brief snap behind me, my hands go limp. I slump back down, unable to move my body no matter how much I try. I gasp and stammer in shock, my voice deeper than I expect. What? Left, helpless before the beasts, I feel myself starting to panic. As I gasp for air, I realize I can still move my head at least. What did you do? The smaller beast scrunches up his nose in disgust as I plead for information. He reaches for a strange leather cord that's strapped around his wrist and tugs at it to ensure it's secured tightly. The older beast finally returns to my side, looking down over me. A demon collar, lad? Do you really think? Of course I do, Opa. It can't be trusted, you know that. The vitriol in his bark momentarily makes me relieved that he doesn't... The vitriol in his bark momentarily makes me relieved that he isn't focused on me for the moment. Though now I feel bad for the ragged old beast he's shouting down. He's gone, Opa. That thing killed him, and now it's puppeting him around like a parasite. We don't know that, Tav. Not for sure. Tav and Opa, so they have names. Are they talking about me? I manage to crane my neck downward, unable to move a single muscle beneath it. What I see down below is difficult to swallow. My entire body is covered in thick, shaggy fur, ruddy shades of brown, and that drift into a lighter creamier blend towards my underbelly, where a simple and tattered loincloth covers my nethers. Thick, powerful muscles adorn my arms and legs. They give way to rather large paws, and each complete with a full set of dark, leathery paw pads. The toned physique continues across my chest. Those bulging pectorals look at odds with the rather sizable hairy gut further down my abdomen. Jaw agape at this form, I realize my face must look similarly hairy and savage. It's strange that, with such a powerful bestial body, I still feel so weak and helpless right now. Try as I might, I can't move anything below my neck. Is this the work of that collar they mentioned? Please, I don't understand. They both turn to me, look at me. Tab wincing at the sound of my voice. Rest now, lad. Tab shoots the larger creature a smoldering glare before Opa turns to address him. He's no danger to us now, lad. Let him get his bearings. The boy looks back at me, appraising the fear in my eyes before grumbling and reaching to loosen the cord around his wrist slightly. As he does, I feel command of my body slowly return to me. I gasp and reach for my throat, confirming the collar's presence. But as I do, my stomach drops, and I get the distinct feeling that messing with it isn't going to end well. Get him up and ready. I want to make it back before dusk. The younger beast departs in a huff, leaving a tumultuous silence in his wake. The older beast sighs as he watches Tab depart before turning his gaze back to me. Sorry about that, Nicola, was it? Yeah. He perks up noticeably at my reply. I'm still not sure how much I can trust him, but he seems to be forthcoming at least. There's a million questions I want answered, and I stumble over them trying to get one out. Where am I? And why am I? I point down and gesture to myself, hoping that gets the message across. Opa looks me over, sighing to himself. You're safe now, lad. But you're not you anymore. This isn't a very helpful explanation. I grow a little frustrated as I try to push for more digestible answer. Then what exactly am I? The old beast shrugs. Demon. That word makes my heart sink into my stomach. Demon? What do you mean? His gaze grows distant as he fails to answer. Hungry? The old beast turns away from me, hobbling over to the workshop-looking area on the far side of the hut. Should I feed you? He mutters to himself, seeming like he's lost in a daze. I still have questions, even more now, in fact, but I don't know how much I'm going to get out of him. I might as well try to get up now that I can. Climbing to my feet, I find myself a bit unbalanced as my heavy gut flops down and jostles before me. His body is weighted a bit differently than I anticipated. I take a few unsteady steps. My feet feel like they bend backwards at first. My body seems to remember how it's supposed to walk on its own, as long as I'm not thinking about it too hard. I feel an added weight behind me, and look over my shoulder to see a shaggy tail emerging and curling up to support my loincloth, tied around my waist. Boil and 3 shakes. I turn my attention back to the old beast, mumbling to himself. I approach slowly, peering over at what he's doing. He's slowly staring at a pot of ominously opaque slop, humming to himself in a grumbly tone. I feel the fur prickle on the back of my neck. What are you making here? My inquiry seems to snap him back to attention, and he gazes down to survey his handiwork. Meal. He acquires a rough-looking pseudo-spoon and ladles some sort of thick, greenish paste into an empty bowl, before turning and offering it to me. No, I'm not. A loud grumble interrupts me, my stomach protesting as I get a whiff of the stuff. Though the thick fog of strange herbs still hangs heavy in this place, My nose manages to single out as something edible, at the very least. And I can imagine it's been a while since I've eaten anything. I look up at his expectant expression, and it's hard to refuse. Tenuously, I take the bowl, and the implement that's now stuck fast in the offered slot. This is not going in me. I can see him squinting as he tries to survey my reaction, so I decide to take a gamble on his poor eyesight. Pretending to scarf down the meal, I end up making overwrought lip smacking and swallowing sounds to sell how much I'm enjoying it. He seems pleased by this, relieved in fact. I can see the tension melt away when the old beast lets his shoulders drop a bit. I try and refocus. The old timer now that I've been fed, discreetly discarding the bowl nearby. Already I feel my stomach growing resentful at such waste. Nick, thank you. Very kind of you to feed a demon. He gives a soft, wheezy chuckle as he responds. Demons are people too. At least I think so. I pause to consider how to gently pry some answers free without showing my hand. I don't know a damn thing about this place, these people, or anything really. But just coming out and saying that would be suspicious, right? Let's try and cover the basics at least. And if I'm a demon, then you guys are... Gnolls. I don't suppose you have many where you come from. His tone becomes more cheerful as I keep up this line of questioning. Where is it you think I'm from exactly? Hell, of course. Right. Of course. And what do you know about hell? It's a realm mired in sin and cruelty, burning away while its people toil in endless misery. Well, that sounds about right. So, how did I get here? He tilts his head, pausing in a moment of confusion. Wait, isn't that your doing? You possessed young Gash here. Gash. Well, that's a hell of a name. I didn't intend to. Is that so? Well, it's not unheard of. Oh? So there may be people like me out here. Used to happen more often, but nowadays the Empire puts demons to the stake as soon as they hear the word of them. Sends them back to hell where they came from. Now, not what I wanted to hear right now. Isn't that a bit severe? I'd say so, but frightened people take drastic measures. Am I really so scary? He looks me over, chuckling heartily. Not as you are now. But without a collar, you might end up like the others. The callous disregard for life, the unspeakable power they wield, the wanton discretion they sow. They treat our world like a game. At least, that's what the Empire says. I cringe as I imagine the sorts of demons that end up getting sent here. I am nothing like that, I assure you. And the collar ensures that. I rub at the collar as he mentions it, and I get the prickly feeling of doom again when I consider trying to rip it off. What does it do exactly? Keeps you from lashing out. Even considering hypothetically raising a fist makes me feel a bit woozy, like that strange paralysis I suffered will come flooding back if I try. This is a lot to take in. Aye, lad. It must be rough. Before I realize it, his paw is on my shoulder. It's more comforting than I expected. I can feel his warmth, and it unravels a bit of the tension that's been building within me. I take a deep breath, trying to get my head straight, and that's when I notice his smell again. Breathing in through my nose gives me a powerful dose of him, and it's not so overwhelming this time, now that I'm a bit more used to it. I close my eyes and focus on parsing it. It's like unraveling individual threads of aroma from a big roll of funk. There's a strong, earthy smell at the core, clearly his natural musk. But surrounding it are some familiar strands of herbal aromas. Lavender, rosemary, vanilla, mint, sage, and quite a few more I don't recognize. And beyond that, I can smell how they're layered and the patterns they weave. I don't really have the language to describe it. It all combines together to form a complex, sea-textured, distinct smell. I almost feel like I could pick it out of a crowd if I focused on it. When I open my eyes again, I see the old Gnoll, much closer now, leaning up to sniff at the broad snout at my neck. It's only now I realize how much smaller than me he is, standing at least 2 heads shorter. He looked so big when I first woke up. But more importantly, he's just brazenly sniffing me. I pull away a bit, feeling myself blush, but I hope I've got enough fur to hide it. He chuckles softly, sighing to himself before he speaks up. I expected brimstone. I realize he must have a pretty sensitive nose as well. It must be a Gnoll thing. Instead, you just smell like him, but different. That's not a very descriptive, but I suppose I'd be hard-pressed to succinctly describe Opa's particular smell. Our moment is interrupted by a dramatic clearing of the throat from outside. You'd best not keep him waiting, lad. I take a deep breath and prepare myself. Hopefully, he's had enough time to cool down. The cool shaded confines of Opa's hut give way to hot, humid air outside. The surrounding greenery is dense and wicked looking. Most of the plant life looks close to something I recognize, but just different enough to leave me feeling a bit disorientated. Tav leans against the side of the hut. I realize now he was probably close enough to hear our entire conversation. He does look like he's calmed down a bit, but seeing me puts him right back in that foul mood. It hurts to see him like this, after he was so gentle in my dream. Wait, was that even a dream? What are you gawking at? My heart catches in my throat. I'm pretty sure anything I say is just going to upset him even more, but leaving him hanging doesn't feel right either. I'm sorry. He seems legitimately surprised by the apology, but quickly tries to hide it after his initial reaction. I'm not really sure what's going on, but it feels like I'm to blame for this, so... You're damn right you are. I find myself growling in a bit of frustration. Look, I don't know what happened, but I want to help. He takes a step forward and thrusts a finger towards me. He's even smaller than Opa, barely more than half my size. I know what you're up to, demon. Your tricks don't work on me. I'm speechless. You're going to do everything I say until we fix this. And how do we do that? By getting Gash back and sending you back to hell where you belong. That stings, but I can't really argue. If me just being here is displacing someone else, maybe that's for the best. Okay, yeah. I owe you that much. He squints at me, as if trying to scan for signs of deception. Just take it easy, okay? I hate seeing you like this. How dare! Tav and I both pivot in time to see Opa emerge. Okay. Tav and I both pivot in time to see Opa emerge to join us. Something's missing. Shall we then? All of Tav's consternation melts away as he's left stammering and averting his gaze from geezer junk. Opa, your clothes. I can't help but stare, dumbfounded. Oh, it's plenty toasty out today. No need to bundle up. Judging from Tav's reaction, he seems accustomed to a bit more modesty than this. But you were just dressed. Opa waves a paw dismissively. Boy, you haven't spent too much time in the Empire, but if you insist, I'll bring the old rags along for the journey. Tav cautiously turns back around, trying not to gaze at the geriatric Gnoll gonads. What do you mean? We'll be going with you, lad. Me and the boy have been meaning to take a trip into town anyway. Speaking of which, The old gnoll looks around, squinting again as he struggles to make out his surroundings. Where is he? He went to dump his gate after we got out of the Wombwood. At this point, I have no idea what they're talking about. Could you be a deer and fetch him for me then? You know how prone he is to distraction. Tab groans, then takes a deep breath, looking between the two of us before, at last, relenting. Fine, and then straight to the village. Be ready when we get back. He sets off in a huff again, starting to make it a habit. I turned to look at Opa in concern, noticing a smirk on his face as he catches my gaze wandering. But soon I feel that prickling at my neck again, getting more intense the further away Tab gets from me. Hurriedly, I hustle to catch up with him, nearly stumbling as I struggle with these big dumb paws. The sensation fades as I get closer. I eye the leather strap on his wrist as he was messing with earlier. Must be the leash to my collar. Looking it over, I figure he could probably give me some more slack if he unwound it a bit more, but I don't think asking for that would go over too well right now. Heading into the forest, we travel in silence for a time. Now that I actually have some time to think, my mind wanders to thoughts of escape. Can I really shake him? Getting too far from the leash seems to activate my collar, and trying to remove it myself or forcing him to would probably drop me too. I could try diplomacy or deception, but that's what he's already anticipating. He's so convinced I'm some sort of demonic trickster that I'll go on a rampage the second I'm off this leash. I'd probably just... well, I don't know what I'd do. I don't even know anything about this place. I don't have anyone or anywhere I can go. I'm on my own, really. Same as him. My thoughts are same as him now. My thoughts keep circling back to the point. He's alone because he lost someone important, and I'm the cause of that. Should I really even be thinking about escape? Shouldn't I be trying to make things right? If we can get the other guy back then, I don't know what would happen to me. Apparently my anxious thoughts have been manifesting as audible whining. I don't realize this until I spot his ears swiveling back towards me, accompanied by a soft, agitated growl. I steel myself to try and stay silent. Hopefully some peace and quiet will improve his mood. Then I can probe for more information when he's not so grouchy. I have to admit, I'm feeling a good bit better myself out here in the fresh air. This forest smells so lively. Way better than being cooped up back in Opa's shack. I do my best to survey the sights and sounds of the deep greenery, trying to build a mental map of the place. But there's just so much to take in, I'd get lost on my own for sure. Hopefully Tab knows where he's going. As we pass by a tranquil stream, I chance a glance across the other side, noticing the rich, verdant greens of the forest begin to fade into strange, violet hues. For a moment, I think I can see something moving over there. As I squint to get a better look, a strange tightness builds in my chest. This feels familiar. It feels wrong. That color. Could it be that place? The fur stands on the back of my neck, and I feel the tightness escalate into a palpable sensation of dread. A sharp whistle draws my attention back to the trail, and I realize that I'm nearly out of the leash range. I steal one last look back across the stream. There's nothing there, but that ominous feeling remains. I shake my head to clear it, hustling to catch back up. Things are significantly more normal back on this side of the stream. I see glimpses of small critters and bushes and trees now and then. They look familiar enough at least. When I make an effort to breathe through my nose, an absolute cavalcade of rich scents overtake me. Every plant, every animal, even the paths and streams, they all smell unique. I feel familiarity with some of them, my brain dredging up simple associations like tasty, yucky, or danger, or fun. for some. It's like I'm digging into the body's scent memory. The most familiar smell of all, though, is his. I take a deep whiff when a breeze casts me downwind of him, better understanding the nuances of the fragments I'd smelled before. I can almost feel his name on my lips when I smell him. It makes me excited, like a pet reunited with its handler after a long absence. It's hard to describe, but he smells much fresher than Opa. Maybe that's a factor of age, or maybe he just actually bathes. Whereas the older Gnoll's scent was laid with fermenting herbs, Tav's feels closer to nature. I can smell the wind upon him, the gentle breeze after it rains. A little bit of fruit, I think, and a hint of flowers. It's comforting. I nearly run him over without realizing he stopped, but catch myself just in time. He's looking up a tree at whose branches hang over us, scrutinizing a cluster of fruits upon it. I can already smell how delicious they are, so without even thinking, I reach up to grasp an overhanging branch to bring it lower. When I look back, he's withdrawn a leather-bound journal from somewhere and appears to be taking notes, index claw coated in ink and moving with impressive precision. So, they do grow on this side. He plucks one of the strange crimson pear-shaped fruits from the lowered branch, studies its shape briefly, and produces a rough sketch of it in its journal. I grab one as well, before releasing the branch. Do you catalog plants? Not just plants, everything I can, really. They had countless books like this in the Empire. The wealthy even had entire rooms for storing and reading them. But gnolls out here don't have that luxury. They pass everything by maw, so it's easy for knowledge to get lost or broken over time. He seems to get frustrated with this sketch, scribbling over it and clapping the journal shut to put it away. I guess I really shouldn't bother. It's not like this is going to help anyone. That dejected look of his compels me to find a way to distract him from such dour thoughts. So, these are safe to eat then? My nose is telling me yes, absolutely. What are you waiting for? But I want to make sure, just in case. Of course, everything's safe for a gnoll. I find myself already biting into a surprisingly tender morsel before I can respond, savoring its intense flavors, very acidic, with a good mix of sweet and bitter. What do you mean? Gnolls can eat anything. You really don't know this stuff? I try to take offense at that, but I know I must look pretty dumb right now with how greedily I'm gulping down this delicious fruit, feeling its juices drool down my muzzle. Like, anything? He rolls his eyes and starts walking again as he explains further. I reach up to hurriedly gather up an armful of bonus fruits for the road before he gets out of range. Anything we can swallow, yeah. It's our gift, or whatever. Hard to starve that way. Can't get sick from most things either. I hurry after him, dipping my muzzle down to munch on the armful of fruits I cradle as I digest this information. That sounds like quite the gift, I guess, but even that gets turned against us. Trash eaters, scabs, bottom feeders, people can be pretty cruel. He sounds particularly hurt by those words as he repeats them, looking as if he's dredging up some painful memories. Well, sounds to me like they're jealous. Tav shrugs, trying to let it go. Whatever. They don't matter anymore. We got out of the city to get away from all that. We? Me and Gash. I bite my lip, realizing I've wandered back into uncomfortable territory for him. Why did things have to turn out like this? This isn't what I wanted. I hate this awkward silence. Maybe it would be better to lean into this rather than tiptoe around it. Hey, we're gonna get him back, alright? He takes a deep breath before responding, sounding worn down. Just stop it, okay? I know you don't actually care. You don't need to pretend for my sake. His words sting, but maybe he has a point. Even though I feel responsible for what happened to Gash, Tav is the only one I'm more worried about. Maybe it's just because he's the one right in front of me. It's harder to feel for someone I've never met. Man, why am I devoting so much energy to trying to make him feel better anyway? It'd be a stretch to explain. Man, why am I devoting so much energy to trying to make him feel better anyway? It'd be a stretch to expect him to be thankful, given the state of things, but he could at least be civil. He probably hasn't even once stopped to think about things from my perspective. I didn't ask for this to happen, and if we do manage to get Gash back, then that means The thought drops my heart into my stomach, so I shake my head and try to change the subject. So, who's this boy we're looking for anyway? Opus kid. Little guy out exploring on his own? He's grown, almost as old as us. Help me drag you back to Opus after you arrived. I look down at the smaller Gnoll. Yeah, Tav definitely wouldn't be able to pull that off on his own. I feel my ears stand up, alerted to a low rumble that passes through the ground. Speaking of, that's probably him. Tav leads us off to the beaten path in the tree line, and I struggle to keep up with him. Hey, slow down a sec. Either he doesn't hear me, or is messing with me on purpose, as he forges on ahead anyway. His lithe little body is able to weave through the greenery at a pace I struggle to match. I arrive out of breath and sputtering as I shoo away the remnants of vegetation that cling to me when I finally catch up with the smaller Gnoll. He stands in a small clearing near a stagnant pond, brow furrowed as he gazes at tangled mass of plant debris accumulated in what appears to be a natural deadfall ahead. Why is he here? Before I have enough time to catch my breath and to ask what he means, I'm startled by the sight of a canteen flying through the air. Several wooden bowls and shredded sackcloth bags soon follow it, being tossed haphazardly by whatever currently occupies the dim hollow beneath the deadfall. Tav marches towards it, raising his voice. Hey, drop it! Leave it! He sounds like he's lecturing a misbehaving animal. I force myself to follow after, my deep breaths to regain. My stamina soon confront me with an incredibly powerful scent. It's something I've been picking up hints of on the way here, but now I recognize it's most certainly another Gnoll. Presumably it's Opus Kid. Now I wonder if Tav has been following that scent to guide us here. I hear some back and forth between Tav and another deeper voice as I spot the frame of a larger Gnoll standing over him, cast in the shadows of the deadfall. Tav seems to have pushed him aside, leaving him to watch as Tav starts struggling to repackage a cache of wicker baskets stashed there. I take a few deep breaths to let that new smell wash over me. The scents seem to be less distracting once I fully process them. That's probably why I haven't really noticed my own scent much, save for a few stray vapors when I reach my arms to grab some fruits earlier. Closing my eyes to focus, it definitely smells like another Gnoll, but this one has a much powerful core musk that the other scents clinging to it can do a little to disguise it. The potent earthy aroma almost feels like I'm choking on mud, but there are strange notes to it that I find titillating. Salt and sweet layer atop it render it sharp and ripe. I get the feeling anyone can smell this guy coming, not just other Gnolls. I open my eyes, and when I hear the larger Gnoll responding to Tav in a tone that carries much of the same gravel that Opus did, but in a younger, greasy timbre. Guessing some critters got at it while we're gone. I just wanted to bring the good bits back for you. They're all good bits. The big guy scratches his head and idly returns, ears lifting in intrigue as he spots me. Holy shit, he's up! What? No, that's the demon. Tav reaches out to stop the bigger Gnoll that's marching meagerly towards me, but gets his arm tangled in the straps attached to one of the baskets and ends up buried beneath it as contents overturn and spill over him. As he steps out into the sunlight, I get a better look at the gnoll, and I'm a bit surprised by what I see. That voice definitely sounds masculine, and the shaggily bearded face sure seems to match it. But the shape of that body, though heavily set with a bit added weight and muscle, is undoubtedly stacked with in another direction. And as the golden-furred gnoll approaches, I can confirm with confidence that he's the source of that powerful smell. Demon, huh? Always wanted to scrap with one. I shake my head and try to refocus, raising my paws out and up to signal I don't want to fight. He lets out a gleeful cackle and doubles his approach, reaching me faster than I'd expect given his hefty gait, and meeting my paws with his own, interlocking fingers initiate a grapple. But before I can offer any resistance, I feel the clutch of that damned collar sap the life from me again, leaving me to crumple forwards at his feet from that momentarily clash. Face down in the mud. Did I break it? Tab manages to free himself from beneath the toppled baggage to come to my rescue. He's got a demon collar on. He can't hurt anyone. The big galoot looks mortified. Not even for fun? Tab sighs and unwinds his cord a bit to give me some slack. As I sputter and gasp for air, pushing myself up onto my hands and knees, Tab groans and retreats into the deadfall again. Get him washed up. I'll handle the damned luggage. Once I've wiped the mud off out of my eyes, I can see the bigger gnoll squatting down, extending a paw to help me up. I grunt and take it, though as I do, I worry he's just going to take advantage of the grip and to paralyze me again. He doesn't, though. He helps me up to get to my feet and gets me steady, leaning in to sniff at me before introducing himself. I'm Stinky. I'm not sure if that's his name or a statement on his personal hygiene. Honestly, it seems like both. Hi. I hesitate, thrown off by that strange introduction and his continued invasion of my personal space. It takes me a moment to register I should offer my name in return. I'm Nicola. Are you about done? He halts. He holds his wandering sniffer to look up at me, smiling as he realizes what I'm talking about. At the same time, I spot Tab's ears perk up in my reaction to my name, causing him to turn and take a long, hard squint at me before returning to his work with a dismissive headshake. Oh yeah, just never smelled a demon before. I expected brimstone. Yeah, I get that a lot. Well, let's get you washed up then, at least just a little. He guides me, excitedly by the paw, over to a small pond nearby. Looking up his arm, I can see he's got a good mix of muscle and fat on his frame. He's almost as big as me, even though still a good head shorter overall. I kneel at the edge of the pond as he takes the opportunity to look me over from a few different angles. No horns? Barbed tail? Big old bat wings? Dang, I guess this story is worth full of shit. I sigh and lean forward to dunk my head in the water and scrub a bit, paws reflexively pulling back to comb through my thick, shaggy mane. As I come back up, I pause when I notice my reflection for the first time, carefully studying my own appearance. The gnoll, looking back at me, has kind of a dumb face, to be honest. If he were part of a bigger group, I'd expect him to be the big, goofy one that ends up being the butt of the jokes. I pause, reach up to feel that face, as if to verify it's real. The nostrils flare a bit as I think about the big black nose in its center. My fingers run through the shaggy, unkempt fur on its jawline that trails back into my mane. Overall, I'd say Gash was pretty handsome in a lovable oath kind of way. Honestly, he might even have been my type. but those timid, anxious eyes don't fit him. Those are mine. While they may lend him a bit of puppy-like innocence, my uncertainty makes them tremble with weakness. I bet the others can tell from my gaze alone that I'm not him. I'm roused from their fixation by a football poking at my ribs. Demon dick, huh? All barbed and veiny? No. To be honest, I haven't checked, but I feel confident I do not have a demon dick. Fairly confident. He snickers. He snicker cackles and reaches down to help me up again. His playful ribbing, though a bit invasive, is kind of refreshing compared to Tav's dour animosity. I look back at the deadfall, where I can still hear the little guy scrounging around. You think he needs help in there? Probably, but I just get in the way again. Don't know what half of that stuff is. I take a closer look at the deadfall, wondering if this is some kind of weird forest stash hidden away out there. What is this place anyway? Oh, it's where I found you two the other day. Found us? Yeah, after you passed down the Wombwood, he managed to drag you and the Holl as far as he could, but I could tell he was at his limit. Every answer just raises more questions. What the hell is a Wombwood? He gestures past the pond opposite of the way we came. The forest we were skirting around. It's all spooky in there. Spooky? Yeah, like everyone's dead and I want to go home spooky. Alright, real spooky then. It is, like, we're still on the edge of it here, though. The real nasty critters don't wander this far out. Keeps the Imperials away, though, so it's a good for that at least. Frustrated cursing cuts through our little chit-chat as Tav continues his labors. I'd better give him a hand. I turn to excuse myself from the conversation. Stinky gives me an encouraging swat on the rump before I go, offering a grin and a pair of thumbs up as I yipe and turn back. You can do it. Whatever it is. I grumble a half-hearted thanks for the encouragement and turn back to resume my approach. Inside the cave-like pocket created beneath the fallen forest vegetation, I see all manner of household goods tumbled out on the ground. Tav squats low, meticulously sorting and repacking them back into the covered wicker baskets as they come down. I recognize this place from my dream where Tav tended to me. And that's when it really sets in. It wasn't me he was doing this all for. I look down over him, biting my lip as I reevaluate that tender, vulnerable moment we shared. It wasn't earned. I stole it. Gosh, didn't even get to say goodbye, did he? He didn't get to hear Tav's feelings at the end. I start to feel dizzy, bracing myself against the mouth of the deadfall. Tav looks up at me with an annoyed expression that demands I explain myself. I don't know what to say. I'm such an idiot. It feels like the walls are closing in around me, like the musty roots of the dreary deadfall are crushing the stale air from my very lungs. At least make yourself useful. His voice cuts through as I find myself gasping for breath, only earning another incredulous stare from the smaller Gnoll. He's still convinced I'm trying to trick him somehow. The big scary demon just waiting for him to drop his guard. At least I can breathe again. He shakes his head and pushes one of the filled baskets over towards me. I can tell it's heavy from how much he strains to move it, but when I reach out to lift the strap, I find it effortless to have over my shoulder. He finishes packing up the other one and pushes it back for me and load up before securing the last few items in a satchel that he keeps for himself. He looks through it to verify its contents briefly, sighing in relief after he finishes. What's in there? The most important cargo. He keeps his explanation brief and frustratingly vague, but my gormless expression seems to pressure an answer out of him. Letters, okay. We're the only means of communication between the Shuddertusk and the Gnolls still trapped in the Empire. I can tell my look of absentia speaks volumes on my comprehension, prompting another frustrated groan from the little gnoll. Look, I can't babysit you and explain the whole world to you. He reaches into his pack and fishes out a journal he was writing in before. Here, you can hold on to this until we get back to the village. Maybe reading that will help you understand the world of the living. You can read, can't you? Of course I can read. I really hope I can read. What is this? Alright, we're gonna possibly... Oh. Shadow Tusk. What do we got? Terms. Alright, you know these guys for now. I'll read these people later, but... Wormwood. I'll read the important terms today. Or maybe next time. You know it's already here. I find it so funny, like, saying I'm reading, but, like, the Wormwood. A tremendous forest in the center of the continent that serves as a natural gate to the broodmother's domain. Proximity to the forest causes sickness and mutation over time, but Gnoll's gift appears to render us largely immune to these effects. Because of this, many Gnoll tribes retreated into the Wormwood and took up worship of the broodmother when the Empire started the Grand Crusade. The place still gives me the spookums. You know these two. Goddess of life and birth, often argued to be the first of the divine, as no others could follow if not born by her. She rarely worshipped in the Empire, where she's viewed as a base and savage force of nature, while many of her faithful in rural areas serve as midwives or beast minders. Others are harbored for exploiting the darker aspects of her domain, like the brood witches of Wormwood. Domains. The outer realms in which the old gods reside after they are slain. Each is suffused with the very essence of the god's magic. That their evokers can draw upon domains also serve as the eternal resting place of the god's faithful. So is our world of the Emperor's domain. So is our world the Emperor's domain then? Since he ain't dead yet? Evokers. Evokers. People who are capable of channeling magic from the domain of the god, using a gate within their body. Most evokers achieve this power through lifelong prayer and devotion to their god, but some exceptionally rare individuals are just born blessed by a god and awaken a gate naturally. Places. The largest civilization in the known realm, organized into a theocratic regime in worship to its titular emperor. It's difficult for me to describe the Empire without bias, so I'll hold my tongue. Fuck the Empire. The Emperor, the current reigning god of the realm. His rule has lasted several mortal generations, and it's difficult to find historical records from before his ascension. His domain is that of law and order, supposedly giving rise to civilization itself, as well as the very idea of law. Can't wait for the next ascension. Shadow Tusk Village, a remote village on the far side of the Wormwood, away from the Imperial Reach. It's built around a series of natural hot springs. I think the phenomena that heats them might be related to the creation of the basalt barrier as well. So happy we moved there. I love everyone in the village so much. Okay. Gnoll's gates. Gates. Channels through which magic can be drawn from the domain of a god. They can appear in the world itself, in places attuned with a god's domain within people. Evokers who train hard can achieve better control and an input and an output from their gate. Without that kind of training, a evoker can end up a danger to themselves and others. Stinky says magic is stored in the gate and keeps trying to show me his. Alright, that is all for now, because if you're wondering why, I am very tired. Once we've got everything loaded up, I will read it later though. Once we got everything loaded up, we head back towards Opa's hut, with Stinky in tow. I briefly wonder why Stinky isn't helping carrying anything, but surprisingly, the cargo isn't much of a burden at all for me. His body really is pretty burly. Having Stinky along for the walk back really does liven the mood, keeping the atmosphere light with casual banter, and mercifully actually answering my questions. He's kind of a lot at first, but I find that he's starting to grow on me now that I'm used to the smell. From the way he tells it, the Wombwood is a country-sized blight on the land that otherwise unflappable Imperials won't touch within a 10-mile pole. It takes months to circumnavigate safely, and pretty much all of that's on the far side of the past. On the far side past here is dust and desert, so they have no reason to bother with it. But they can take their empire and shove it under tail. He makes a crude gesture to demonstrate the analogy. Surprisingly, even Tav's mood has improved enough to be for a bit of sarcasm. Careful, they say the Emperor hears all. Pfft, as if he's so almighty, let him strike me down. As if the forest itself has an ear of comedic timing, the Gnoll managed to step on and loudly snap a twig beneath him, just after his proclamation. This causes a decidedly undignified yelp to escape him, as he's startled into a nearby bush. Tav can't help but laugh at the buffoonish display, and I'm inclined to join him, feeling relieved that seeing him at least a little less grim now. A pair of brown socked paws emerge from the brush, pumping upwards victoriously. Still alive. Suck it, Emperor. We reconvene back at Opa's place, rousing him from a nap I don't think he intended to take. Mercifully, he's actually dressed this time. Stinky tends to him while Tav inspects the cargo briefly, to make sure I didn't break anything. As Tav starts to take stock of our inventory, I get a bit distracted from the inspection when my ears tune me into the other Gnoll's conversation in progress. We get to go with them. Really? Stinky's tail is practically wagging like a pup's. Opa chuckles softly, and does his best to settle the boy. Isla, your gate nice and empty, right? Yep, every last drop, so I should be good for a few days at least. And we can see him this time, right? I realize my ears have physically swiveled around to listen to their conversation, which is probably pretty noticeable and pretty rude. So I shake my head and try to focus on Tav instead. The smaller Gnoll shields his eyes as he looks skyward. Should be enough daylight left to make it there before dark if we hustle. Hopefully I won't slow you down much. If you get tired, I can always piggyback you. I have half a mind to offer the same, but I realize that'd be awkward with the already handling cargo. There's still enough life in these old bones of mine to make it to the village. Our journey is pretty quiet for the most part, with only occasional color commentary from Stinky to punctuate the sounds of nature as he gets distracted by something or other to scavenge and munch on. Plus a few pee breaks. A lot of them, actually. Stinky insists that the highest mark on the tree means you own it. I concede all ownership claims. As we get further from the lush vegetation of the forest outskirts, I can't help but ask what's on my mind. Why is the village so far from the forest? It looks pretty dead out here. The further from the Empire, the better. And while there isn't much game, we honestly don't need much to survive. Where there's resources, there's competition. I guess that makes sense, but it still feels weird being so disconnected from the rest of the world. Oh, tell him about the canyon. We're almost there, he can see himself. And indeed, peering forward, I'm able to spot what they're referring to. Ahead, the hills drive up into a sharp rise that wraps as far as the eye can see, either direction. You'd be hard-pressed to mount it, if even with proper climbing gear. But dead ahead of us, a gloomy crevice splits the pass into a slender canyon. It'd be pretty hard to find if you didn't have someone to guide you to it. Only way to get to the village lest you go through the flats of the other side. As you get closer, my nose gives me an indication of what's so special about this place. There's an acrid, malodorous aroma, like rotten eggs and salt that seem to seep from the canyon itself. I hear Stinky take a deep breath, sighing and letting his tongue hang out as he samples the scent. Ew. Brimstone. Ah, brimstone. It's the basalt barrier, our last line of defense against the Imperials. The fumes make them sick. The tremendous range of naturally formed hexagonal basalt columns that stand between Shuttertusk Village and the Moonwood. The area is rich in sulfur, which serves as an extra deterrent to keep Imperials at bay. It stinks real good. Wait, I think there was another term to read. Ascension? Yeah, probably this one. The process by which a god is born. According to legend, only the god can reign over the realm at a time. A new god arises by killing the previous one. Dead gods are thereafter banished to their domains, from which their influence on the world is greatly diminished. I think we're ready for another one. Oh, was he crying? Doesn't look like it, or just had a bad pencil. Alright, I hope y'all know what gnolls are. Gnolls. People of hyena resemblance, blessed by the one of the old gods, with inoculation against affliction. This enables us to derive nutrition where others cannot. That combined with our stellar perspiration capabilities allows us to eke out an existence. I'm sorry, my fucking eyes are not working with these glasses today. Forever. I need to get new ones, which is why I need astigmatism, or why I have it. Like I said at the beginning, my words just look weird. Where was I? That combined with our stellar perspiration capabilities allows us to eke out an existence in climates otherwise inhospitable to most peoples. Our tribes were among the last remnants of resistance against the Grand Crusade, but now that it has concluded, our people are scattered and broken. The Empire sees us as oafish savages only fit to integrate into their society as cheap labor. Also, we're the pretty ones. I think he's talking about Tav and himself. Yeah. Or just... these guys are definitely devs. Who was there? Brood witches. Alright, this will get introduced later, and this will be now. Who else was there? Tidelord and Dawnbringer. Grand Crusade. The Empire's term for the quest to forcibly bring all other cultures they encounter under their rule. After their conquest of nearly all nearby tribes over the past few generations, they now turn their gaze to seaward to see if they can expand beyond the continent. Dopes on a boat. It's the basalt barrier. Our last line of defense against the Imperials. The fumes make them sick. Based on what I'm smelling, I can relate. I don't feel like I'm going to retch or anything though. Must be that gift that Tav mentioned. Oprah smiles and pats my tummy. But gnolls are made of sterner stuff, eh? I try and offer him a smile and thanks for the reassurance, but my heart isn't in it. Even though the canyon walls are wide enough to pass through easily, somehow they still feel close for comfort. The strange hexagonal columns that make up the canyon catch my eye. They jut up sharply to form the canyon walls on either side. They must be some sort of bizarre natural formation providing uneven steps for us to tread across. For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that those walls are going to collapse in around me at any moment. I try to focus on just moving forward, ignoring the unease rising in my chest. I ignore the tremor in my legs that makes it difficult to walk. I ignore my ragged, ill-paced breathing, which only further overwhelms me at that sulphurous stench. Tav looks over his shoulder and notices me falling behind. He moves to tap the leash wound around his wrist, to encourage me to catch up. But he stops when he catches sight of my face. I don't know what he sees there, but it's enough. He backtracks a bit and places his paw on my shoulders, settling my breathing. Come on, Nicola. We're burning daylight. It's not exactly the most gentle guidance he could offer, but it's the first time he's called me by my name. Even that little nudge helps me push through. He takes my paw more gently than I expect. He gives it a soft squeeze and I squeeze back. I can't see his face as he walks on my head, but I hope he's not too upset with me. I wish I wasn't such a burden. Here I am, the person he hates the most in this world, the one who took Gash away from him, helpless as a babe and dragging down everyone around me. I just want to get this over with. As we break through the other side of the canyon and the noxious reek of brimstone begins to abate, I see the trio I'm traveling with, bathed in the twilight of hues in the golden hour. Is that twilight? Stinky bounces from foot to foot as he eagerly points out the village outskirts in the distance. Yeah, Stinky bounces from foot to foot, as he eagerly points at the village outskirts in the distance. Opa chuckles in reminiscence about soup, but Tav still has that distant look. The village up ahead. That's where we'll end things. Part of me wants to stay here with them, but that's just selfish of me, isn't it? I'm such an idiot. The others start making their way down the village proper, the day's journey finally at end. I'm not ready for this to end. Chapter 2, and that's where we leave off, because I'm gonna need sleep. It's extremely late. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm very sorry for my very uncharacteristically monotonous reading. Last time I did this, or was reading, okay, I did have an earlier reading, but then it turned out the audio levels were just terrible, and it might turn out that these audio levels are going to be terrible as well. So if these audio levels are terrible, I'm just going to not redo it. I'm just gonna keep it as is, because fuck it. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this. If you like this and would you like to read for yourself, I will link the video the itch.io page, or how to download the game, in the description below. I'll also put the Patreon for the game itself, so you can support the creators and them, because it's a pretty good one. I like it. Yeah, so for me, I will say goodnight, and I will see y'all at the next video. Bye-bye.